Greetings and salutations and welcome to the video. Today we have a fun one. We will be opening a 1982 Flair box. We'll be looking obviously for the Cal Ripken rookie card, and there are some errors in this set. John Littlefield, Al Roboski, some others. We'll be looking for those. We'll be looking for Hall of Famers, stars of the time back then. And then what I thought would be really fun is I have this September 1987 baseball cards price guide. So at the end, we will look up the value of some of these cards that we pull and see what they were worth back in September 1987. So I'm going to move the price guide off to the side. I'm going to move the box off to the side, and let's get right into it. Here we go. 1982 Flair. Pack 1. Feel that wax on the back. All right, we have an Oakland A's sticker. Gary Alexander, Bill Robinson, Andy Hassler, George Vukovich, Joe Niekro, Willie Upshaw, Gaylord Perry. It's our first Hall of Famer. We'll put the Hall of Famers over there. Frank Tavares, Doug Flynn, Stan Bonson, Pedro Guerrero, solid player, Larry Milbourne, Jose Morales, Pete Vukovich, and Randy Martz. All right, pack 2. Angel sticker. Al Cowan, Andre Thornton, Ron Jackson, Glenn Abbott, Pat Putnam, Joaquin Andujar, George Foster, another very good player. Not a Hall of Famer, but solid player. Ray Burris, Dave Stewart rookie card. I'm going to put that over there. We'll look that up at the end. Dave Smith. Trying to see if he had his eternal sunglass tan. George Bell rookie card. That was a big one back in the day. We'll look that one up. The Count Montefusco. Ricky Keaton. Reed Nichols. And Jesse Jefferson. All right, next pack. Hall of Famer Don Sutton on the back of this one. Atlanta Braves sticker. Love that old logo. Ed Ott. Enrique Romo. Darrell Evans. Again, another solid player. A lot of good seasons. Gene Nelson. Nolan Ryan. There we go. Very nice. Put that there. Danny Ainge. Gene Garber. Gary Woods. Tom Seaver, Hall of Famer. Dan Ford, Vance Law, Kent DeCulvey, Mike Witt, Mike Proley, and we end with Don Sutton, Hall of Famer. Next pack. Red sticker. Fernando Valenzuela, second-year card. That was a nice one back in the day. Dave Winfield, Hall of Famer. Put him over there. Richard Dotson. Oops. Randy Lurch. Bill Buckner. Dennis Eckersley. Pete Rose. Getting some nice cards here. Checklist, Bobby Brown. There it is. 4th pack in. Cal Ripken Jr. rookie card. Looks pretty good too. I'm just going to put it in a sleeve and a top loader real quick. stand over here? I do. There we go. Cal Ripken rookie card in the 4th pack. Very nice. Dave Engel, Lamar Hoyt, Checklist, Steve Braun, and Luis Salazar. All right, next pack. Now I want to be greedy and hope we get a second one. Cubs stickers. Rick Miller, Gary Matthews, Pascual Perez, Hubie Brooks, Warren Cromartie, Bert Hooton, Willie Randolph, Rich Gale, Reggie Cleveland, Jerry Morales, Jerry Remy, Dick Ruthven, John Denny, Mookie, and Bobby Ramos. Next pack. A's again. Mike Ramsey, Joe Price, John Henry Johnson, Alan Ripley, Fred Stanley, Tom Brookins, Jerry Dubinsky, Dave Beard, Ken Clay, Jim Kern, the Wolfman, Bob Sykes, Mike O'Berry, Mike Caldwell, Vida Blue, and Mike Norris. Kansas City Royals. Garth Orge, Preston Hanna, Jim Slayton, Bill Campbell, Steve Renko, Bobby Grich, Dale Berra, Jim Dwyer, Ron Davis, Cesar Cedeno, Dave Stieb, Rick Mahler, Joe Pittman, they keep falling over, Joe Edelin, and Freddie Paddock. Next pack. Ken Forsch on the back. Chicago White Sox. Steve Kemp, Len Barker, Jack Morris. Poor centering on the photo itself, not the card's off center too, left to right, but like you think they could have centered Morris more in the middle of this card. Billy Sample, Bruce Sutter, Dave Concepcion, Rodney Scott, Jeff Reardon, Bob Nepper, Joey McLaughlin, Rafael Ramirez, Angel Moreno, Chuck Rainey, and Ken Forsch. Next pack. Ivan DeJesus on the back. Cardinal sticker. Victor Cruz, Willie Stargell, John Harris, Ron Reed, Luis Pujols, Alfredo Griffin, Chris Chambliss, Neil Allen, Ron Hodges, Larry Parrish, Jerry Royce. Looking like he's, 80 there. And in 1982, he would have only been 33? 31. He was probably 32 years old when that picture was taken. Bobby Mercer, Rich Dower, Charlie Moore, and Ivan DeJesus. Next pack. Padres. Dane Orge, Dan Dreesen, Jerry Augustine, Larry Herndon, Dwayne Murphy, Kirk Gibson. That card was probably decent in 1987, so we're going to keep it out and look it up in the price guide. Mike Hargrove, Dan Schatzeder, Gary Gray, Al Oliver, Tito Landrum, Ray Knight, Roland Office, Dave Goltz, and Vern Rule. Pirates. Rennie Martin, Clint Hurdle, Jerry Royster, Mike Vail, Tippy Martinez, Chuck Baker, Harold Baines, Mike Bombach, Billy Smith, Rick Langford, Milt Wilcox, Jorge Horta, Lee Smith rookie card. It's nice. Tom Pektoric and Danny Darwin. I'm going to sleeve up the Lee Smith. It's off center, but still a nice card. Trying to get a stand up for it. Put these forward a little bit. And we'll put Lee Smith right there. All right, next pack. Tony Armas on the back. Houston Astros. Bob Shirley. Mike Lacoste. Charlie Huff, also looking like he's 60. Al Holland. Cliff Johnson. Rick Peters. Bert Blyleven. Jim Spencer. Jim Anderson. Rick Honeycutt. Tommy Herr. Frank Pastore. Jason Thompson. Jerry Martin. And Tony Armas. Texas Rangers. Hoskin Powell, Lamar Johnson, Checklist, Mark Clear, Juan Bonilla, Joe LaFavor, John Wathan, Checklist, Ron Say, Eddie Murray, Danny Goodwin, Jim Eschian, Checklist, Mike Schmidt, Home Run King, and Juan Eichelberger. Dewey Dwight Evans, Bob Boone, Dan Spillner, Rusty Staub, Elias Sosa, Steve Garvey, Reggie Jackson. Some nice names in this pack. Jerry Koosman, Ted Simmons, Ken Reitz, Carney Lansford, Mike Schmidt base. Checklist. Terry Francona, Terry Crowley. Not sure if that's a Francona rookie or not. I think it might be. So we'll put that over there too, and we'll look it up and see if it had any value in 1987 after. All right, I'm going to move some of these base out of the way just to give me a little more space. Whoops. The cards are leaving a mess. All right, next pack. Dodgers, Willie Wilson, Willie Aikens, Larry Bradford, Joe Nolan, Ken Singleton, Don Cooper, Greg Luzinski, Gary Ward, Tom Griffin, Dave McKay, Rick Leach, Dave Rosello, Steve Carlton and Carlton Fisk. That's a nice card. Jeff Burrows and John Ellis. Nice pack. I appreciate everyone that's watching this video. Glad we got a Cal Ripken rookie just to, make it worthwhile to open this. We post content every Sunday and Wednesday on the channel. We do a variety of newer and older breaks. So if you like what you're seeing here, please like and subscribe to the channel. Comment what's your favorite card in this break. We're just a growing YouTube channel here and just trying to get out there. So I appreciate everybody that watches. Marty Castillo, Pat Kelly, Doug Bird, Lenny Randall, Mark Wagner, Orlando Sanchez, Tom Hume, Ty Waller, Doyle Alexander, Rob, Kevin Saucier, Alan Bannister, Rick Bassetti, Shane Raleigh, and Leon Roberts. Not to be confused with Leon Bip Roberts. Oakland A's again. We've seen that sticker a lot. Ken Oberkfell, Ron Oyster, Mike Phillips, Tom Niedenfuhr, Harry Spillman, Ken Maka, Al Roboski. I'm going to put that to the side because I know there's an error on that card, and we'll check that at the end. Chris Welsh, Gary Hancock, Bert Campaneris, Rod Carew, Steve Nicosia, Kiko Garcia, Rudy May, and Craig Reynolds. Mickey Rivers on the back of this pack. Dodgers sticker. Stan Poppy, Ron Hassey, Keith Drumright, Brian Clark, Jim Sundberg, Jim Cott, another Tom Seaver, Johnny Ray, Enos Cabell, Ricky. It's nice. Sweet Lou, Bo Diaz, Aurelio Lopez, Dick Drago, and Mickey Rivers. Let's move this batch off and get to our next pack. Phillies, Al Williams, Rusty Coots, Milt May, Silvio Martinez, Terry Kennedy, The Wizard of Oz, Ozzie Smith, Larry Guerra, All-Star infielders, Bucky freaking Dent and Frank White, Ken Landrew, John Lowenstein, Roy Smalley, Ed Farmer, Yankees powerhouse, Reggie Jackson and Dave Winfield, 1981 All-Star Game, Cleveland, Ohio, and Rupert Jones. Next pack. I think we're about halfway through. Cincinnati Reds. Pete Redfern. Bill Allman. Checklist. I always liked this card when I was a kid. Pete and repeat. Pete Rose and Pete Rose Jr. Barry Evans, Ken Phelps, UL Washington, Linares, Mahias, Tim Stoddard, John Verhoeven, Mike Squires, Jim Clancy, Fred, and Jeff Jones. Angels, Jerry Garvin, Claudel Washington, Frank LaCourte, Rafael Landestoy, Brian Downing, Lee Lacy, Dave Parker, Don Baylor, Ramon Aviles, Alan Ashby, Damaso Garcia, Bob Horner with all sorts of print issues. All sorts of stuff there on that side. Ed Lynch, same thing. He doesn't have quadruple chins or however many he had in his 1987 Topps card. Bob Baylor and Scott Sanderson. Next pack. Rick Dempsey on the back. Tony Perez. Steve Carlton. Nice start. Checklist. Rick Ruschel. Dave Ford, Darrell Jackson, Wayne Nordhagen, checklist, George Hendrick, John Curtis, Randy Bass, Jamie Quirk, checklist, Bobby Mitchell, and Rick Dempsey. Next pack. Brewers. Joe Rudy, Lonnie Smith, Rick Waits, Joel Youngblood, Bill Gullickson, Rick Monday, Goose, Ross, Robin Yount, Mike Krukow, Bob Stanley, Tug McGraw, Ricky, most hits, most runs, Johnny Oates, and Doug DeCinces. The Twins, Roger Erickson, Carlton Fisk, John O'Connor, Rennie Stinnett, Shooty Babbitt, Champ Summers. Get some good names in this pack. Tom Verizer, Bruce Sutter, top relief pitcher, Dan Meyer, Buddy Bell, Larry Sorensen, Paul, Doc Medic, Joe Morgan, and Bob Ochinko. Cardinals. Reggie Smith, Bob Watson, Cesar Geronimo, Sal Bando, Bill Cottle, Tom Bergmeyer, Keith Moreland, Sid Monge, Pete Falcone. I kind of jumped over this card real quick, but I want to go back. I like how he's opening Flair packs there, holding his card from the year before. Charlie Lee, Darryl Thomas, Craig Nettles, Kevin Hickey, Paul Molitor, Steve Henderson. Mike Scioscia, Barry Foote, Dan Graham, Moose Haas, Steve Dillard, Bobby Ojeda, Larry Christensen, Mike Easler, John Stearns, The Kid, Gary Carter, Steve Yeager, Rick Cerrone, Ken Brett, Ben Ogilvy, Leon Durham. Some solid players in that pack. Oh, Sammy Stewart from the back of this one has some damage. Houston Astros. John Littlefield. I don't think that's the error card. I believe the error is him throwing lefty, but we'll look that up in our price guide in the end. Dennis Leonard. West meets East. Valenzuela and Gary Carter. Ron Renicky. Len Sakata. Sal Butera. Tony Bernazard. Perfect Game. Len Barker and Bo Diaz. Phillies Finest. Schmidt, Carlton, and Lonnie Smith. Rick Wise, Paul Splitorf, Frank White, Brian Asseltine, Larry Bittner, and Sammy Stewart. I don't know why I'm putting the cards on top of the stickers. Ted Power, George Frazier, Gary Renicky, Roy Howell, Tim Blackwell, John Tudor, Dal Unser, Jim Bibby, Mike Scott, Jerry White, Rick Sutcliffe, Jerry Mumphrey, Dan Quisenberry, Jim Gantner, and Jim Tracy. Go back to the Mike Scott. I'm not sure if that's a rookie card or not. I'll double check it when we look up our cards on our price guide. Next pack. I think we have 8 left. Royals. Lance Parrish, Toby Harrah, Tom Underwood, Floyd Bannister, Johnny Grubb, or as I used to call him, Johnny Scrub, Mark Littell, Junior Kennedy, Mark Bruhard, Jim Wolford, Matt Keogh, Dave Rosma, Miguel DeLeon, Lynn Jones, Julio Cruz, and Bill Steen. Andre Dawson on the back of this one, so he got the wax. But the thing with Flair cards, you can get that off pretty easily. John Mayberry, Phil Negro, Ellis Valentine, Dave Kingman, Woody Fryman, Steve Sachs, I believe that's a rookie card, Aurelio Rodriguez, Al Bunbury, Gorman Thomas, Jody Davis, I believe that was a hot rookie card back in the day too, Mike Torres, Dick Davis, Bill Madlock, Randy Jones, and Andre Dawson. Dusty Baker, Bucky freaking Dent, Dennis Lamp, Don Money, Dick Tidrow, Jim Rice, Gary Maddox, Mitchell Page, John Milner, Benny Ayala, Bob Molinaro, Eddie Whitson, Bob Forsch, Gary Lucas. 5 packs left. The Spaceman on the back of this one, Bill Lee. Yankees sticker. Ernie Witt, Rick Camp, Denny Walling, Dynamic Duo, Bench and Seaver, Jeff Zahn, Tony Pena, Tim Foley, Bruce Keeson, Warren Brewster, Art Howe, Luis Leal, Dale Murphy, Dyer Miller, Lee Mazzilli, and the Spaceman Bill Lee. I'm going to put Murphy over there. I want to see what he was worth in 1987. All right, final 4. Padres, John Castillo, Chet Lemon, Terry Forster, Greg Minton, Jeff Newman, John Walkenfuss, Wayne Garland, Bobby Bonds, Jerry Narin, Steve Comer, Sixto Lascano, Jeff Combe, Carl Yastrzemski. It's nice. Gary Lavelle and Brian Kingman. Rick Burleson, the Rooster, Moreno, Zachary, Tommy John, Phil Gardner, Al Woods, Tommy Boggs, Tony Scott, Charlie Leibrandt, Larry Harlow, Rick Roden, Rod Scurry, Don Ossie, Louis Aguayo, and Jose Cruz. All right, last 2 packs. Last 2 packs. I'd say it has been a pretty good box. I'm just going to put the box over there out of the way. And now our last 2 packs. And then we'll get into some 1987 pricing. Keith Hernandez, Ken Griffey Sr., Brad Mills, Wallace Johnson, Joe Sambito, Jackson Todd, Ed Miller, Jamie Easterly, Bruce Hurst, Dave Frost, Butch Hobson, Eddie Solomon, Scott McGregor, Dave Righetti, and Dave Roberts. This might be a Righetti rookie card as well. I'm not sure. I'll look that one up as well in our price guide. Last pack. Gary Allison, Sparky Lyle, Willie Montañez, Mike Cubbage, Jerry Manuel, Jay Johnstone, Oscar Gamble, Mike Jones, Raleigh Fingers, Raleigh Eastwick, Steve Crawford, Bake McBride, Mike Stanton, Mike Jorgensen, and we end with David Palmer. I think the collation in this was very, very good. I don't know if we got any duplicates at all. So I can't complain about that. That was very nice. We got the Cal Ripken rookie. We got the Lee Smith rookie off-centered. And we got a stack of Hall of Famers, other rookies and stars. So now we're going to take a look at what some of these cards were worth back in 1987. All right, let's go to I can't fold it over because of the inserts that are in the magazine still, but I'm just going to lay down the price guide right here and then look up the cards themselves. So let me adjust the camera. So the 1982 Flair, the complete set in September 1987 was worth $17. Number 603, Lee Smith. Lee Smith was worth 50 cents if the logo, Cubs logo, is correct. If the logo is reversed on the back, it was 75 cents. Is that a reverse or a correct? You tell me. Cal Ripken, number 176. Cal Ripken is worth $4.50 in September 1987. Let's take a look at some of these other cards just out of curiosity. Raleigh Fingers, number 141. Raleigh Fingers, 20 cents. Oh, not a lot of room to maneuver because of this insert in here, in this magazine. It's keeping the pages, it's forcing it. Dave Righetti, first card, $1.50. So in September 1987, this Dave Righetti was $1.50. I would have had it in a top loader, probably without a penny sleeve. Number 312, Collier Stremski. Collier Stremski, 70 cents. Dale Murphy, number 443. Dale Murphy, 80 cents. Let's see what other cards are in here worth $1 or more. Mike Marshall, $1.25. I don't think we got Mike Marshall. Steve Sachs. I know we got a Steve Sachs. There's the John Littlefield we want to look up. I know we got a Steve Sachs. I'm not sure where it is now. It's in this pile somewhere. But Steve Sachs was $1.50. Pete Rose, $1. Al Raboski era, $18. So that one we're going to look up. And the John Littlefield pitching lefty, we have the righty, so we don't have the error. Pitching lefty, that card was worth $60 back in 1987. So the error version of this card was $60 in 1987. I'm not sure what it goes for now. I need to find the Al Raboski and see if we have that error. Al Raboski, there we go. Let's see what the error is. It says on the back, it lists him as 5'1", and it spells his name as Al Raboski. So it's Al Raboski. He is listed at 5'1", so it's not the expensive error. It's the second version of the card where they corrected the Al to Al, but not the height. The height should be 5'10". This was listed as $1.25. This card, if you had the Al Raboski at 5'1" on the back, that was $18. George Bell rookie card is listed at $1.25. The Pete Rose Jr. card, 90 cents. The Yankee Powerhouse has an error as well, according to this. So let's see if we have that one. Oh, there's the Steve Sachs rookie. That was $1.50 in 1987. Yankees Powerhouse. Let's look this one up, and then we'll end this video. So this one, number 646, Yankee Powerhouse, Reggie Jackson, Dave Winfield, comma after outfield on back. All-star outfielder, we have the one with the comma on the back. So we have the error version. And in 1987, it was worth $1. The corrected version was 50 cents. But anyway, it's already been 35 minutes, so we won't take up too much more of your time. So this was a really fun break. Please like the video, comment, subscribe. Tell me which card you like. Tell me if this is the Lee Smith error card or not with the reverse logo. And we will see you back shortly in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.